Underwater, on the ground, on the streets and in the air, this edition of Echo at Africa brings you new ideas and initiatives from people across the continent who are committed to the environment. Welcome to the show. My name is Sharon Momanyi from Nairobi, Kenya, and joining me is my colleague Neota from Nigeria.
Hi Sharon, and thank you for inviting me in. In the next half hour or thereabout, we will be presenting our latest edition of Echo at Africa, brought to you by Deutsche Welle, Channels TV and KTN. And here's what will be coming up on the show today. A sperm bank for corals. Yes, indeed. Using cyber technology, that's what scientists in Durban have set up to protect biodiversity on the reef. And a new use for waste products. How a German microbiologist makes clothes, guess what, from milk. And we meet Adebola Odenike, technology freak and one of the few hybrid car owners in Lagos, Nigeria. Scientists say that coral reefs in South Africa seem to be more resilient to climate change than reefs in other regions. But why? A team of marine biologists in Durban is researching the complex dynamics of coral production and protection. To do so, they have set up a coral sperm bank using cyber technology. The ultimate purpose of their project: protect the biodiversity of the reef. Let's take a look.
This is how corals reproduce and spread. For hundreds of millions of years, they've been building ocean reefs and ensuring their own survival. In Durban, marine biologists are collecting these sex cells, called gametes, to study their genetic potential. Most corals live in warm tropical waters. In this part of the ocean, natural selection has left only species that can cope with the rough conditions found in the seas around South Africa.
So that's a lot of our research is trying to figure out what is the genetic basis of resistance or susceptibility to how our reefs are connected on a genetic level, what sort of movement of larvae and genetic material are we getting, and how does that inform our plans to protect.
Coral reefs are diverse ecosystems that produce an important habitat and breeding ground for fish and other marine species. In the last few years, global warming has caused coral reefs to bleach and die around the world. Corals are animals that live in symbiosis with an algae. When ocean temperatures get too warm, this relationship breaks down. The algae are expelled, turning the coral white and effectively starving it, like here in the Seychelles. Reefs in South Africa have mostly been spared, at least so far. Dr. Pt1 and his colleagues believe that's down to a genetic disposition that makes them less vulnerable to change in the environment.
Our environment is very turbulent, and therefore the water mixing is very good, so you don't get a layer of warm water sitting at the surface and affecting more the shallow water corals. Added to this, our corals tend to be a bit deeper. The tropical reefs grow to the surface, so this all assists the corals to cope better with global warming, climate change and coral bleaching.
Just as important as the special environmental conditions in South Africa, the strict protection of the country's northeastern coastline. The hope is that this area might provide a breeding refuge for corals that can survive in warmer tropical regions. Here at Cape Vidal in Isimangaliso Wetland Park, James Wood is in charge of marine protection.
One of the thinkings by the scientific research and that is possibly our corals in South Africa and Isimangaliso could actually benefit by global warming, because as the water temperatures rise, it then will create a greater area for the corals to extend further south.
But warmer temperatures aren't the only factor affecting coral reefs. Another major problem in oceans all over the world is marine pollution. In Durban, one man is thinking ahead. Together with colleagues from around the world, Dr. Pt1 is working on cryopreserving coral gametes. For him, they are an insurance policy for biodiversity if worst comes to worst.
With corals under such immediate threat, we need to find ways to preserve the diversity that we have currently. The situation is, in many areas, is so dire that we have to start looking at solutions like this.
It's a race against time. Experts say around half of the planet's coral reefs could die by 2050, taking with them much of the diversity and beauty in the world beneath the waves.
And now let's move from the waters of the Indian Ocean to the German forest. These ecosystems are called the green lungs of our planet. Just how much of forest will be left in the future will depend to a large extent on our children.
You hit the nail on the head, Neuta. It's worth teaching them to appreciate its value. In Germany, a group of volunteers have joined forces and founded an organization aimed at luring kids away from their smartphones and into the woods to explore, play, and get as dirty as they like. Sounds like fun.
A message to young conservationists: play in the forest and preserve it. Every year, 70,000 square kilometers of forest are lost worldwide. More and more children never get a chance to play in the woods. A German group called Wälderwärts wants to change that. The initiative organizes nature trips for kids. They learn to make fire without a lighter, and how to identify plants and follow animal spoors. This footprint was left by a wild boar. Children should take the time to play, fool around and get dirty. If children get to know and have fun in the forest, they might appreciate it and protect it later.
Do you like that? If you are also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.